And moving on to the second part of the meeting is the meeting wherein all of us who are listening to this wonderful prepared speaker get a chance to reflect on what they have just heard. Now, the rules of reflection are very simple. Rule number one, when you reflect, you think back in your own life as to what happened with you. Did you encounter something similar to what you just heard? Or does this incident remind you of something? How did you react when something similar happened to you in your life? So that has to be very personal, and it gives you time to think back and reflect upon your own life. And then you share it with us. And for which the rule number two is you get 1.5 to 2 minutes to reflect upon. So those are the simple rules. And we have Vola joining us from Cairo, or probably Allah Sharmin Ramadan, which is the right name. I hope I got it right again. And Vola will take us through the reflection session. So this is all about the platform. And we have a marvelous person today to share his life story with us, who is Ajit. Let me share a brief about Ajit. And all right, I've got it. So Ajit is an entrepreneur. He's a technology freak, and he is also something which I can't pronounce right now, so I'll skip that. Loves to read and watch science fiction. And so I'll leave it to Ajit as to what difficult English word he has chosen to put in his bio. So the
Yes.
stage is yours, Ajit. Let us put our hands together to welcome Ajit with his life story.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for welcoming me, and thanks, Mudit. So the word that Mudit missed is numismatist. So numismatist, they are the people who study and collect coins. So I collect coins and as well as study them, and I get to know which era they are and how the era was and how people used to use those coins and all those things. So that is the study of coins. That is numismatist. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you got a new word today. All of you got to learn a new word today. Yes. So am I audible to everyone? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So hello everyone. Hearty good evening to all my fellow caravan friends. Hope you all are doing good. I'm Ajit from the historic city of Pune. Today I'll be sharing few incidences from my life which are close to my heart. These are the moments that have changed my perspective towards people in my life for good. These have directed me time and again to make better decisions. Let us begin with the first camp, Brotherhood Bond. My journey in the bigger world, as far as I remember, started as a bright kid in school. Actually, my mom used to say that since I scored good grades and participated in sports decently. I have an elder brother. We were two typical siblings of the 90s, always fought each other or silly things, had ridiculous arguments over where to go for our vacations, which games to buy and play at home, although these were ultimately decided by mom and dad. Not a single day went by where we didn't pester each other and carried out our boyish mischievous deeds. Days went by and years passed. I found myself in a situation where he left hometown for college and I was left alone at home. I tried to fill the void by endearing some friends, but it wasn't that easy. Phone calls every other day weren't that amusing, especially we didn't have video calls back then. I missed having fun with him. I started feeling that I have lost some significant part of mine. I vowed myself that I too will study hard and make it to his university. I toiled for 2 years and sincerely gave my entrance examinations. Then came the day of results. I was moving around with a friend of mine on that day. I saw my brother coming down the street. He had a piece of paper in his hand. He came close and showed me the paper and gave a tight hug to me for a good 5 seconds or so. I was surprised. I was amazed. He whispered, "You made it. You are one of the toppers." And that was the moment I realized I had made him immensely proud of myself. That was the hug that I can still feel in my heart, and I'll never forget it. Few months later, I was reunited with my brother in a new town. This one moment is I'll lovingly cherish for a long time. Thank you, brother. Moving ahead, next story is related to my career. I'd like to call it a different path. The year was 2013. I had graduated from college as an engineer and had secured a good job placement. Quickly setting into the job, I had also started my side hustle to keep myself engaged in my passion, robotics. Within a year, that side hustle grew. It grew large, and I had to form a company and run it. But I was still doing my job. A year passed, and it was increasingly becoming difficult to handle both the job and the business. I knew soon I would have to choose one. My parents knew little about my side hustle. We are a middle class family, and me leaving a well paying job to do something I like was absurd. Meanwhile, my father saw me spending less time at home. He sensed the inconvenience I was going through. He sat me down and asked what was going on. I told him the dilemma I was facing, whether to quit the job or not. I told him how passionately I was working for my own in my side hustle, which I would love to take to bigger heights. He was visibly displeased after that chat. A week or so passed, and he took me to our native place where he had grown up. Next day, we went to the farm to see the cotton crops. As we were going around the farm, my father expressed his views on my future. He said, "Son, my dream for you my dream for you is to see you become an IS officer." So IS officers are the elitist government jobs in India. But that is my dream and not yours. Look, I've grown up here in this village and have worked my way out to the city. That was my choice. So I want it that way for you. Your life is your choice, but you have to choose it wisely. That was extremely supportive of him to make me feel comfortable and give me some time to grasp the situation around and move. That day, I was happy since I really got to know that my father will always be the biggest supporter of me. Thus, I decided to hop onto an adventurous journey of entrepreneurship with double enthusiasm. Now, I would like to take you to the third and the last story. I call it Unchained. Many years passed, business was running as usual. We faced quite a few ups and downs, and our team withstood all of those. We kept together. But something bugged me all the time, that my life wasn't going to the heights I expected at the start. Somewhere I fell short and gave in and became cozy with what was going on. Earlier, I had a grand vision of how big I can grow and what all I can do to make my life large. But that was all subverted because I became comfortable with what I had. Slowly, this bug started creeping over my mind, and before I knew, I found myself into depression. all my life. I was unable to chat with anyone, didn't call or message any friends, frequently took time off work, was anxious around people I know, frantically searched depression all over the internet. I was totally engulfed by this demon of mediocrity. My friends, they're busy in their own life, common to the age of 28, 29, and couldn't notice that I was what I was going through. But one day, by God's grace, one of my long lost friends, she called me. We talked and we met soon after. We talked of how life has been through years and found we were in somewhat similar ship where we needed transformational change to move ahead. We hopped onto the first opportunity to get out of this abyss. It was here, at this moment, we booked our tickets to an experiential summit which happened a week later in Shimla, India. It was there I got some time to reflect, find my inner soul, control my emotions, and connect to my spiritual self. The summit didn't promise much, but it delivered more than needed. It had talks by Swami Gauranga Das, Shyamal Vallabhji, sessions on breathwork, personal mastery circle, playground sessions, and how could I forget the group ice bath in the early morning cold weather of Shimla? That was phenomenal. It was here I connected to many souls, connected with them to a deeper level. It set me on a whole new trajectory of personal growth. Upon returning from this event, my mind was free of any anxiety. I asked my business partners, who are my friends since college, to help me out. We had an open hearted discussion. I blurted it out, everything and all that was blocking me from moving ahead at that juncture in my life. They understood my stress, my pressure, and came to my rescue. Slowly and steadily, things started to smoothen up, and I was feeling relaxed inside. The most important takeaway for me has been the learning that if one is not mentally fit, he wouldn't be physically fit, and vice versa. That is, if one is not physically fit, he wouldn't be mentally fit. And if one wishes to be spiritually fit, he needs both mentally as well as physically fit. What I mean by spiritually fit is when one is at peace with nature and the world around us. Many such learnings carried me out of the chasm of indifferentness to a position where I could think of myself as a person who is at peace with my own self. To summarize these stories, what I've learned is my bond with my father, with my brother, my mother always make me have a family first attitude. And from the last one, when in doubt, reach out to your friends. They are your extended family and they will always come to rescue you. I would like to finish my talk with a simple message. Each one of us here on our home, Earth, is destined to achieve greatness only if we could be at peace with nature. In future, I desire to see myself attain a spiritually fit stage. So thank you guys. Thanks everyone for listening. And special thanks to my friend Surashri who recommended to go to this life-changing summit, and Rakesh, whom I met there, and we have become good friends then onwards. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Incredible life journey. Wow. I feel like since the day I visited or I joined the Caravan, I've been taken on a magical, what is it called? Magic carpet. And I'm not only visiting countries, but I'm visiting souls. I'm seeing what's inside people. We're visiting different minds every time, and it's just crazy. The journey is uh, it's incredible, and just like the movie says, indescribable feelings. And, I feel like people here met Rakesh everywhere. Like Rakesh has been around the country. Everybody met Rakesh at one point or another in their lives. Ajit, your story touched me on a personal level, because I personally, like the first part of your story about your family, I was also the how can I say that? Like my sister also traveled abroad one time, and my brother went on a boarding school. So I was left alone, and we had that bond between us. So I was left with a void that I needed to fill, and that was like when I got into depression a little. But then I decided to start doing something, and that thing was learning English. Actually, this is when I learned English, and I never got out of that phase. So like you got out and you made your own business, started your own startup, but I'm still stuck in that phase, but I'm gonna get out
Oh,
soon, very soon,
yes.
hopefully. All right, let's start with the reflections. And I see new faces here, and I'm glad I see you guys. Let's start with somebody that I think is not Indian. I'm not sure. Jose or Jose?
Jose. It's Jose Maria, I think so.
So Maria, yeah.
So,
So can I be the second or the third? What is the question?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you. But where are you from? I did not join.
Yes, I'm from originally from Spain. I'm living in Finland. Right, I'm living in Tampere. I'm the president of Toastmasters in Tampere. Today I'm in Helsinki.
Ooh.
Yeah, and yeah, Mudit introduced me to the group, and here I am.
Like, nice. All right. I'll get back to you, Mr. Jose Maria. I love the R sound in Spanish. And now let's see. Pratik, or I should say, wait, let me say it in an Indian accent. Pratik.
Yeah, that's right. You got it right. So, hi
yes.
everyone. So,
Yeah, so
I-
reflection on its talk. You've got 1 to 2 minutes to reflect and tell me how it felt, or if you have any questions for the great Ajit.
yeah, so I've had the pleasure of knowing Ajit since 10 years. We did our engineering together. And when he was talking about the friends and the company partners, I was one of them that is referring to. So I've seen his journey in terms of how one can be happy when one does what one really loves. How when somebody is put in a position when they don't enjoy their work, how that affects them, and how important it is to understand with your teammates. As he was saying, from the exterior, people might seem to be extremely okay and fine, and when you are in your own zone, sometimes you tend to neglect what others are going through. So that does happen. Life at times takes over when you are when you're doing your own thing. So it's important to talk to people, try to connect to them, not for even if you're working with somebody, especially your friends. It's important to have conversations which don't involve work as well. We, especially as engineers and as professionals, have this habit of letting the work life take over and not letting the spiritual connection or the normal personalized connects grow or bloom properly over the years. It's important to not take them for granted. It's important to keep watering them just as we water plants. And from time to time, it's important to take break from work, from your regular people. It's important to go new places. Places have vibes, places have auras, and when you visit them, you carry it with you when you come back. and eventually that helps you to smile more and helps you smile in a different way, and helps you smile from the interior, which I believe is really important. So I thank Ajit for sharing it. It was a good talk. Over to you again.
Thanks, Pratik. Thank you so much.
Sorry, did somebody say something? Oh, okay.
So,
I felt like I heard two people speaking. And great, thank you, Pratik. You guys have great English skills. Wow, you say words that I gotta check the dictionary to know what what they mean. Like water, your interior, bloom. Yeah, wow, just great. I noticed from my visit here in Caravan that Indians have two great things aside from their great minds, of course. So you guys have great English and great hair. Your hair is just superb. Yay, the flip, Monica. Do it, girl. Your hair is just great, you guys. And now let's see Krishna. You also have great hair. Why did you turn off your camera?
Well, it's extraordinary how you can tell from there that I have good hair. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Ajit, so I mean, the story was so powerful, and it was really crazy to hear. I could relate to again the void of losing someone who feels like your companion. I mean, it could. In your case, I understand that it was a brother. Uh, for me, I was in a 8 or 9 year long relationship. 9 years uh, on and off is what it went on for. And 2 years ago, I had to walk away from that relationship, and sort of feeling my best friend, my partner, my sort of everything disappear. I know it's not exactly the same thing, but it was like the person who was most important to me in life, like sort of leave, or me leave. And just when you spoke about the void, I could sort of feel it in the center of my chest, even though it's been 2 years since then. I could feel the experience repeat itself like it was yesterday. And another moment that was really really special to me was since I'm assuming, since you mentioned Shimla, it's life plugin that you're talking about. Uh, uh, for me also, uh, last year life plugin was a really really big deal, and in that way I can sort of relate to it. It was I was able to step into my power in a certain way, and make a decision about what I wanted to do. I had a lot of paths that made a lot of sense, and some people were even like, it's crazy, because like you did engineering, but I'm a BSc IT dropout. So again, similar but not quite the same. And I've been pursuing. I was pursuing cybersecurity as one of the potential life choices. I have like a professional certification in cybersecurity auditing, and that was a line that made a lot of sense. Like everybody was like, "There's so much shortage. You're smart. You're in this field. It makes perfect sense for you to be here." And on the other hand, I had like being a writer and a coach, which you can find like a dime a dozen. So for me to be able to make that decision and say no to cybersecurity and say yes to coaching was something that happened at uh, at and around the few months around life plugin. So yeah, I mean that's I can relate to so many like different pieces, and it just sort of says from my heart like same but different. You know. Thank you so much.
Thank
glad,
you.
glad,
Thank
glad to
you.
know. I'm glad to know that my story could connect to yours in some way.
It connected with everybody today, Ajit. And now let's hear from Manish.
Yeah, great to hear, Ajit. For everybody, we studied together, and after the college days, From the sidelines, I've been watching the success ups, mostly ups, because downs you hardly get to know. But when I heard Ajit today, it is a true epitome of what the person goes through, right? You see all honky dory outside, people look happy faces, but you never know what's going inside. And two things I think really important when you are in depression. I think we try to kind of avoid people, try to be and you know rise above, right? So great to hear your story, Ajit, today. And so proud of see the whole journey. And honestly, the way you narrated this whole story, I was in like a nirvana for some time. Pretty nicely presented. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Manish.
Thank you. See, he also used something that I did not understand. I don't even know if that was English or Indian. I was in Bara first during the
I
speech.
would I use only one word, which may not be English. Nirvana. It's like
Ah,
the complete state of what you can call it as something close to a relaxed mind.
spirituality. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, spirituality. Yeah, that's the only word I used apart non-English word I would call it as.
All right. Thank you so much. And now we have Sumit.
Actually, he is a friend of mine also, and he must have skipped. He has just kept it on. Okay, I think so.
All right,
Yeah.
Sumit, we don't hear you. So if you can try to fix your mic and join in a couple of minutes, that would be great. And now, Jose, are you ready?
It's very difficult for me to say anything. I don't know. It was a great speech, by the way. Very impressive. I'm not sure how to reflect, but it's impressive how connected you were with your brother, then with your father, and with your mother, and then with your friends. It was a very nice story, very impressive, and yeah, I'm not sure how to relate to it, honestly. In a way, it's difficult for me. Yeah.
No problem, Mr. Jose. It was great that you tuned in tonight, and I hope you continue on doing so. What time is it in Finland, though?
It's 4 o'clock. It's already night because the winter is
It's
coming.
also
But
4 o'clock in my place,
uh,
so I think we have the same time zone. All
okay.
right. Moving on. Thank you, Mr. And we have Amol.
Hey, namaste everyone.
Namaste.
Uh, to briefly introduce me, I am first friend, then a mentee of Ajit, and then also a business partner in RoboLab Technologies with Pratik. So, uh, to 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 talk about Ajit is one of the original person I have met, and those are very rare to find. So you may meet a lot of people, but they cover up their faces with lot of different things, but except the original. So he is one of the person who stays original no matter what the situation is, and tries to find way out through the situation. Instead of running from the situation, he tries to find out a way. And I feel blessed to have Ajit and Pratik with me. So that's all.
Wow. A great testimonial.
I would like to add on something about one thing that Ajit has indeed shared his experience and his journey. Another thing that I experienced with him was, in life sometimes you have some kind of people like who react differently to situations. over the course of time we tend to understand that. So I have a small experience that I had with Ajit. So back when we were in college, there was a competition in robotics. There's a thing called Robo Wars where two teams have robots and they fight with each other. And Robo Wars is basically you want to destroy the opposition. So in one of the matches, it so happened that while the match was going on, there was a fire that broke. And usually these matches take place in presence of students. There are about 500, 400, 500 people watching it. And a fire happened on one of the robots, and everybody started frantically running. And Ajit was somewhere around 100 meters away, and he heard that there is a fire. So I noticed that everybody was trying to run away from the fire, and Ajit was the only one who was going towards the fire and trying to find a fire extinguisher in order to extinguish it. So that really hit me. This was like around 8 9 years ago, but I did really understand at that point of time how people react differently to the situations. And for me, I look up to Ajit as one of the strongest individuals I know. And still, when we found out, when he spoke to us that what he's going through, that he's feeling a bit depressed, it really hit me that there is no, you know, QR code written on somebody that hey, he's vaccinated for depression. Anybody, no matter how strong, can feel low at times, and everybody needs an anchor to hold on to at times. And
Wow.
this is like a sine wave. At times we human beings have this tendency. We have a sine wave. Somebody's negative cycle is a bit more, somebody's is less. So whenever that happens, always reach out to people. That is really helpful. Even in this case, I'd like to share to you that I tested COVID positive around 4 days ago, and I am in isolation at home. And this is the best thing has
I'm
happened
sorry to
to
hear
me in
that.
isolation, interacting with you all. It's been really good, nice, enriching. Thanks.
Oh
That's all I
God.
wanted to share.
Thank you for sharing that. You guys, one thing we can learn from today's meeting, you need friends that would hype you up the way Ajit's friends are doing. You
Yeah.
need supporters the way I mean, today I texted my friend, I was like, join Caravan, it's a great place. I'm like, yes, do it, do it. And she's like, well, 3:30, that's my lunchtime. Sorry, babe. Just gotta go. Oh, like, oh, you can't just postpone lunch. So yeah, you guys have friends like Ajit's ones. And now let's hear from, ooh, we have a lot of people. Aaron, go ahead. Please unmute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, Hi, everyone. And what a fantastic story, Ajit, you have. And, I feel the three things here, the three stories you mentioned, uh, these are, uh, basic to, to my life also. So, whenever you are, you need, there is a bonding with your family. And, you are, when you are a child, uh, and when you are with somebody, uh, like your brother and sister, with your family, your father and mother, uh, that is your a small world. And you are dependent on them for the small joys. I came from that 90s also. So the type of games we used to play, we have nothing in this world. Now we have so many things to for our personal entertainment. But at that time we have we have the games like we used to play. So it's more of a interaction, that kind that was happening at that time, uh, which which was close to our souls. So those were our basic friends. So still till today, whenever I am somewhat depressed or somewhat agitated, or so I usually talk with my sisters. We are so close. So it it releases pain from my heart. And I find friends like Rakesh here. So I was going through that phase of depression. And anyhow, or by God's grace, like you, it was his call that I am coming here in Delhi. I want to meet you. So it was a rescue call. And then onwards, things are going on changing. So it's close to your story. Mine is like same. So fantastic. And one more thing I want to mention here, that as you said, whenever you are not calm, if you have, you are to be at peace with yourself. If you are not at peace spiritually, you are not going to achieve what you want to achieve in your life. So kudos.
Thanks, Arun. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
True, Aaron, very true. And it's something that he mentioned. If you're not mentally fit, you can't be physically fit, or you can't physically fit. So it's a great idea or a great reminder. And if anybody would like to comment on that, I call on Suman.
Hello everyone. Hello Ajit. I
Hello,
have seen
Suman.
you since last 3 or 4 meetings, and whenever I see you, that one thing came in my mind is that you are so calm and so composed. You seems very peaceful inside. I noticed that, and today you talked about it, and I mean, I was thinking that I was right about you. So that was very good thing. And you said that your father was wanted you to be an IS officer. Same, my father also, he was working very early, very early age. So he was not able to become an IS officer. So he wanted from us, means my brother and sister, that one of their children become an IS officer to fulfill their dream. But so I have also taken admission in after graduation. I took admission for MA so that I can prepare for the IS. But my grandmother and my auntie and all, I was the eldest one, so they wanted me to be get married soon. So that's why even I was not able to fulfill my father's dream also, and that was, I mean, I miss that thing. So I can relate to your story. And next thing is when I got married very early age. At the age of 21, I got married. Okay. Then my brother got selected in engineering, and soon after 2 to 3 years, my sister also got selected in a designing school. Then the inferiority complex came into me, that I was doing nothing and they are going to become this and that. So that was very, I mean, I can't say depression, but yeah, something kind of this, something depression kind of. So I started working on myself, that I have to stand besides them also. Means if I am not going to compete with them, and how could I stand besides them? So I started working on myself, and today I can proudly stand with them. And right
That,
now, sitting with them also. Today
yes,
I am a YouTuber, I am a baker, and I am a chocolatier, and doing lots of things, and I am proud of myself.
yes, you're doing so much more than many of them. I think so.
Thanks
Yes.
to you.
Wow.
Yeah, thank
Wow,
you.
you guys, incredible stories, I'm telling you. And we hear from Manpreet.
Great. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Before reflecting on the story of Ajit, I have a request for you. My son, who is in ninth grade, he wants to develop his career in robotics. If you can mentor him.
Yes, definitely, definitely. I would like
Because
love to.
I'm not using
Definitely.
this as an opportunity to grab a promise from your side that you can. So Ajit, really enjoyed your story, and just to reflect on a couple of aspects. One, which you said that you were trying to juggle between two professional lives, and I had faced a similar situation 12 years back. No doubt, I landed up in leaving both of them. That's a different story. And I didn't pick one of them, but I left both of them and picked the third one, kind of. So, so which is a different thing, but I do highly relate to that particular thing, that there's no fun in doing too much of a professional thing at the same time. I don't see any value of that. We'll land up in missing other aspects, be it spiritual, be it family, be it love, be it parenting. Another thing which I could so relate to with your story is that while you were speaking, I was getting the difference between. So we know the difference between climate and weather. Climate is something which is a trend. Global warming, the temperature is increasing. Weather is the moment, the today, how's it? So generally, we see that mental fitness is a switch, and it's. I feel it's a lifelong journey to achieve that mental fitness, and it takes time, and there are downs even when we are meditating. There are downs even if we are spiritually active. So it's not that it's going to be always hunky dory, as someone mentioned. So that's something which I could relate to, that mental fitness is not a switch, it's a journey, and there could be ups and downs throughout that journey, even as Pratik was mentioning. So, but thoroughly enjoyed your story, was able to connect to it, and I hope I'll be able to follow your path of picking the passion someday and following it up. Yeah, thank you so much, Ajit. You have made difference in my life. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. It is just a matter of time that you follow your passion. It's just somewhere here and there for everyone.
Right.
Great. Thank you, Manpreet. And now we hear from Trisha.
Hey Ajit, I loved hearing all the beautiful stories that you shared with us. They were so touching, and one thing that really came through is just the sweetness of your soul. You just have the sweetest vibration, the sweetest soul, and I agree with Suman, very, very calm. What I thought was so beautiful was how your depression led you to deepening your spirituality. I thought that was so, so special, and something I've personally experienced myself, so definitely relate to going from that darkness and then into the light. Now that you've, in a way, problem solved that experience, if you were to become depressed again for whatever reason, what would you do next time, knowing all that you know now?
Most probably I'll look deeper, more deeper this time. I'll go beyond whatever I've gone, and I look around myself. I like this one thing about myself is I like to take a bird's eye view. I like to take a view where I don't see in a general way, from out of the box, what is happening inside the box. And that is how I'll just go one more box outside and to see what is there.
I love that.
They say the universe is infinite. So it is
Yes.
never there are never just one, there's never just one box. There are box inside box inside box, something like that. You just need to move one outside.
Yeah, to see the higher perspective. I love that. I
Yes,
love
yes.
that. And what advice would you have for someone who might be feeling really depressed right now? What's the first thing that you can recommend for them to do?
First thing I would recommend them to do is talk to your closest person. There is always one closest person to everyone, and get talking with them. Even if they are very busy in their life, they'll take out time for you. Talk to them, and they'll definitely try to get you somewhere, and you can go on a trip with them or something like that, but talk to them, the closest one.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ajit. Thank you for sharing.
Great.
Thank you,
Trisha. Thank you. Great questions indeed. And now we hear it from Simavir. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Ajit, for sharing this beautiful story of yours. It is what I could gather from your story the most was the importance of relationships in your life and in our lives, especially with your brother and your father, and then your friends who proffered you towards this life summit, wherein you found the panacea to your problem. And if I could, the most where I could relate with your story was, the while you were narrating your story, I just went back 4 years from now when I was also I got transferred in my job to Delhi, and this was the first time that I was leaving my hometown, and I share a very strong bond with my younger sister, and I could just imagine that she was there standing on the platform while the train was about to depart, and I could see from a distance that she was crying, and it was a very hard time for it must have been a very hard time for her, since we've never been detached, although, and then thereafter although we were apart, but we were still together. We found our way, and traveling to and fro from Delhi to Chandigarh, I used to do that quite frequently, just because, to just so that sanity can be maintained between the two of us. And so this is beautiful. Because I just went back there, I could picturize everything that you were narrating, and about your negative state of mind that you went into and the rut that you got into. I agree. Life takes a downward turn for many of us. I mean, that's how life works. And but it's admirable that you found your peace in spirituality, uh, and you move forward with your life, and that life summit helped you out, and you have such beautiful relationships in your life. I think congratulations for that, and I wish you very well for your future ventures, as well as you're doing very well in your life. So thank you once again for sharing
Thank you
this.
so much, Simar. Glad to know I could really connect in that way, the sibling way. Yes, thank you.
Wow, thank you, Simar, and thank you for the personal story as well. Now we hear from Monica.
Hello, hi guys. Hello, Ajit. And I really like to uh, sorry, and say Pratik's names also. You guys share such a wonderful bond, and in the initial talk, he also said so many wonderful points regarding friendships and honesty, and he noticed so many wonderful points regarding you. That's amazing. Definitely, he's a wonderful friend of yours, and it's really good if you have a supporter in your company who is very good friend. It's commendable. That means you guys are doing something really great about that. So regarding siblings things, I could relate to it much. My sister is here, my brother is here. So initially I feel with my brother Rakesh, I we used to um, fight a lot. I was the naughtiest. My father and mother, nobody expected anything from me because I was so naughty and bad in studies till 10th. So I think my brother was dropping me in Vanasri. I was too excited that I'm leaving everyone and going to do something in studies because it's an art school. Then I saw other girl crying because my brother is leaving me. I was like, oh God, she's crying. What should I do? Then I also started crying. So then after that, I think after college, we also got connected. Otherwise, till that time, we used to call each other Jani Dushman. Jani Dushman is the biggest enemy in your life. And regarding my sister, we generally call each other daily. Like it's like a daily ritual. I remember I was also facing something similar. I think depression or first stage of depression. I became silent and I was not following any of my passion, and I was not that expressive, which actually I am. Then then I remember my sister came and she said, "We all are there. We all are here in this together." So that was the moment I got the energy that, okay, this is something happening in me and shifting in me. So now we laugh about that. Okay, आओ बहन चुगली करें. Wala, it's let's bitch about people. So so that's the thing. And regarding depression, I would like to add that we should definitely check on our people. Things are really pretty bad in world. We should check on our people and just ask, not just happy birthday, how are you, or happy Diwali. We should ask more. We should not do the small talks, because this is something very creepy, whoever the person is going through depression. So that's my take, and thank you so much for sharing your story. It was lovely.
Great. Congratulations, Monica, on achieving so much in your life after being told that you can't. And congratulations to myself, because I understood two Indian words today.
Okay.
I understood the word bhat. Bhat means brother.
Yes.
And I understood dushman because I study Persian and it comes from Persian.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
All right, let's hear it last from Kritika.
Yeah, hi Ajit. So first of all, we didn't get a chance to meet at LPS Shimla. So I was there as well. So anyways, we are meeting now, and I'm glad that I was able to be a part of your story and listen to it, because it is incredible. And the three stories that you told, I was able to relate to two of the stories, the first and the second one, when you told about your brother departing and your brother being your Jan, or the best person you have. So even I mean, even I have an elder brother, and after school he was leaving for his bachelor's. He was leaving abroad, and I mean, when he was leaving, I was okay. I did not feel anything. It was like, "Ki theek hai, he's going, so what? It'll be all okay." I had no tears, no emotions at that time. And with time, I started feeling because I was so much dependent on him, and I always used to look up to him for every work. I used to be like, "Bhaiya ye kar do, bhaiya wo kar do." So, and then every responsibility was then started falling on my shoulder. Not exactly responsibilities, but the little things that I used to count on him. And apart from that, I remember that there was one time I just woke up from my sleep and I started crying. I started crying like anything. And then I messaged my brother because I was missing him out of nowhere. I don't know why did that happen. And my brother instantly video called me, and then we talked for hours, and then I was okay. So I mean, that shows something, that how connected I am to him. And so that, when you were telling about your brother, I was so able to connect to you. And the other thing that you were talking about your father, I feel that you know s- people who are your family, and if they support you with your dreams, that's the best thing that can ever happen to a person, to an individual. And I would say that my father is my strength. I mean, whatever I want to do, wherever I'm falling, he is there pushing me every time. Even I'm, procrastinating on things, or being lazy on something. He is the one always pushing me, or, getting me on my feet and helping me out with everything. So yeah, that support, again, I am so much, and I'm so glad that you said it and you shared, because then I was able to relate and recall that, yeah, that's true for me as well. I mean, and now when I've spoken it, really feel grateful of my family and how supportive they are. So thank you so much for sharing it.
Yes, glad to know that thing. And in India, we have all the families like that. I think so.
That's true.
Yes.
We're so well connected to each other.
Thank you, Kritika, for the personal story as well. And now we hear it from Rakesh. And after you're done, pass the mic to Mudit.
Yeah, thank you, Vala, and thank you, Ajit, for the story. Actually, I heard the story 2, 3 times, so so thank you for again. But one thing I would like to share, or it reminded me. I met Ajit in Shimla, and after that, I met Ajit in Goa. 6 month after 6 month of gap, and I can say that in these 6 months, he was a completely changed person. Means the way he was approaching the life, and we had a great talk after 6 months, and the way he was approaching the life, and the way he was presenting himself in that event out of the 300 persons, always going ahead first out of the 300 person. And I know him before 6 months before that event in Shimla. He was not that outgoing and all that. So I could relate that how a person can change in these 6 months. And I'm not means telling everyone to attend Life Plugin Summit. I'm not, but I want to say that join or attend any of the experiential learning session or concert or courses or online concerts. They really help us. And actually now means we are in the 2020, and so much is going on in our lives. So these type of courses, and they really means need of the hour. Means every year if we attend some of the course 2, 3 days, it will give a great shift in our life. So and that and those things I could easily identified in Ajit, and after meeting him after 6 months, I can easily see the changes and transformation I see in himself. So thank you, Ajit, for sharing. And the one thing which I really liked was because my father never took me into the farms and village. So that was really touchy for me. Means father taking a son to his village and discussing things, and sharing that was really touching. Means we never hear stories these kind of in our lives, that our father took us to village and share their aspirations. So thank you, Ajit, for sharing all these. Thank you. Over
Thanks,
to
Rakesh.
Thank you, and thank you so much, Ajit. Your story was remarkable in more than one ways, and I am amazed by how much and to how many it reached out. For me, it has those three important components, and of course, one of which everyone sitting here could relate to: the family. And then you talked about friends and about following passion. And all that was so wonderfully woven. So, towards the end, I just want to leave all of us with two thoughts. Good friends are like stars. You don't always see them, but you know they're always there. And before I go on to the next, I would request everyone to switch on their cameras because it is time for photograph as well. So we have Simmer, Sumit, Krishna, and Manish. You need to switch on your camera and put up a beautiful smile. Okay, we have a dog as well in the frame. So on the count of three, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I got it. And the next in the line of the three things that Ajit was talking about was, of course, following passion. Find your passion, figure out what you want to be, what you want to do, What inspires you and gets you up in the morning eager to start the day? And then figure out how you can get there, what it would take to be that person. And then do it, Kritika. Even if it takes you to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just do it. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And we'll meet next Saturday, 7 p.m., with another life story. Thank you. Bye bye, and good night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.